What if I told you that Formula One's greatest rivalry is about to be reborn? That Red Bull has built what might be the most efficient engine in the sport's history, while Ferrari has created the complete package that could finally end their championship drought? Two teams, two completely different philosophies, one ultimate question: who cracked the code of 2026? Welcome back, and buckle up, because the battle between Red Bull and Ferrari is about to define this entire season. Red Bull Racing took the biggest gamble in modern Formula One, building their own power unit from scratch in just 2.5 years. Industry experts said it was impossible. Rivals expected them to struggle. Even Max Verstappen admitted some teams probably expected the engine to simply blow up. But it didn't. Instead, Red Bull Ford has emerged from testing as what rivals are quietly calling the benchmark. Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal and a man who rarely gives competitors credit, openly admitted that Red Bull is deploying far more energy on straights than everybody else over 10 consecutive laps. In an era where 50% of the car's power comes from the electric motor, this sustained energy deployment isn't just impressive, it's potentially championship-defining. While other teams can match Red Bull's electrical performance for a single qualifying lap, maintaining that level over race stints is what separates race winners from also-rans. The technical innovation behind this advantage is fascinating. Red Bull has achieved what engineers describe as perfect integration between the V6 engine and hybrid system without driver compromise. The battery management system can sustain maximum deployment for 10 consecutive laps, suggesting their battery cooling, energy recovery efficiency, and deployment mapping are working in perfect harmony. This isn't just good engineering, this is the kind of innovation that wins championships. Energy clipping, that awkward moment when a car suddenly stops accelerating because the electrical deployment runs out, is one of the defining weaknesses of the new generation engines, but Red Bull appears to suffer far less from it. In modern Formula One, overtakes rarely happen randomly. More than half of decisive passes occur either at the race starts or during the opening lap, which means the ability to accelerate harder and sustain power just a little longer can decide entire race weekends. Red Bull didn't arrive in Bahrain with dramatic upgrades that grabbed headlines. Instead, they refined something far more subtle: the behavior of the car itself. Behind the scenes, engineers recalibrated the energy deployment maps and torque delivery characteristics of the RBPT power unit. Torque maps were adjusted to improve traction out of slow corners, which matters enormously at circuits like Albert Park, where acceleration zones define lap time. ERS deployment was tuned to ensure the car still had electrical energy available toward the end of each lap, not just at the start, and overtaking modes were adjusted to comply with the FIA's stricter monitoring systems while still preserving Red Bull's straight-line strength. Red Bull completed 672 laps across Barcelona and Bahrain testing with zero major reliability issues, a remarkable achievement for a completely new power unit design. They rebuilt their entire suspension philosophy, switching from pull rod to push rod actuation at both ends. They introduced a completely new front wing with a scooped central section and upward swept leading edge designed specifically for active aerodynamic transitions. Additional winglets appeared on the side pods and rear crash structure to reduce drag and refine airflow. Under the floor, Red Bull introduced a leading-edge configuration with 4 vanes designed to guide air more effectively into the underfloor tunnels. This wasn't just tweaking the car, they rebuilt the way it thinks about the road. For the first time in years, Red Bull is doing this alone. No Honda power unit partnership, no Adrian Newey guiding technical direction, no Christian Horner running the team. The structure that built 4 world championships around Max Verstappen has fundamentally changed. The new leadership under Laurent Mekies is putting their stamp on the organization, building structures and culture that align with their vision for Red Bull's future. But here's where the Red Bull story gets complicated. Max Verstappen, the 4-time world champion who should be celebrating this engineering masterpiece, looked at the 2026 cars and called them Formula E on steroids. His frustration with the new regulations became so public that Stefano Domenicali, Formula One CEO, had to hold direct talks with him in Bahrain. When Red Bull technical director Pierre Wash was asked about Max's unhappiness, his response was brutally honest. "It's not my goal to make him happy. We can make him happy by winning the race." This creates a fascinating tension. Red Bull might have built the most efficient power unit on the grid, but their star driver isn't convinced about the direction of the sport. Yet in typical Verstappen fashion, he's second favorite for the championship at most bookmakers, despite Red Bull appearing to have only the fourth fastest car based on testing. Why? Because Verstappen has proven he can win with inferior machinery. Formula One legend Riccardo Patrese explained it perfectly. Max is the most ready driver to adapt to these new rules. He is always in the simulator and works extremely well with his engineers. Verstappen's championship chances depend on his extraordinary ability to extract performance from machinery that shouldn't be competitive. In 2025, he dragged what was widely acknowledged as the worst Red Bull car in recent years to second place in the championship, falling just a couple of points short of a fifth title. His adaptability to the new regulations, particularly regarding energy management and hybrid deployment, could allow him to extract more from the RB22 than it theoretically deserves. The 2026 cars require a completely different driving style, and Verstappen's simulator work and technical understanding position him perfectly to master these new demands quickly. Red Bull's historical strength in mid-season development cannot be ignored either. While they might start the season fourth fastest, their ability to rapidly evolve the car could close or eliminate the gap by summer. While Red Bull built the benchmark engine, Ferrari might have built the complete package. And at the heart of Ferrari's transformation is Lewis Hamilton, experiencing what might be the most personally fulfilling moment of his legendary career. For the first time ever, Hamilton has been involved in developing a Formula One car from its inception. "My DNA is in this car," he said, and you can hear the difference in his voice, see it in his demeanor, feel it in his enthusiasm. Hamilton spent the winter in complete digital detox, disconnecting from social media, rebuilding his mind and body, approaching 2026 with renewed focus and energy. He stated he's personally in the best place I've been in a long time, and when a seven-time world champion says that while driving for Ferrari, people listen. This mental reset is crucial for a driver of his caliber, and it's clear that the environment at Ferrari is playing a significant role. He feels more settled, more integrated, and more connected to the team than ever before. A key reason for this newfound connection is his involvement in the development of the SF26. Last year, Hamilton inherited a car that he never truly felt comfortable with. This year is different. This sense of ownership is vital. When a driver has had input into the car's design, they have a deeper understanding of its characteristics and a greater belief in its potential. Hamilton's faith in the team is unwavering, stating he has 100% faith in this team and what they are capable of. Charles Leclerc ended preseason testing as the fastest driver overall, posting a stunning 131.992 lap time, the only driver to break the 132 barrier across all testing. He was 0.8 faster than Lando Norris and 1.1 seconds clear of Max Verstappen. But it wasn't just the single-lap pace that impressed, it was how the SF26 achieved it. The car looked stable, with tremendous grip and a strong front end, allowing Leclerc to attack corners with complete confidence. Even when Leclerc had a wild moment at turn 11 during testing, he was able to save the car, a feat that would have been much more difficult in the tricky 2025 machine. Leclerc, entering his 8th season with Ferrari, is a driver with a clear goal. At 28 years old, he is in his prime and knows that it's time to deliver. His now or never comment at the end of 2025 was a clear signal to the team, and they have listened. His manager, Nicolas Todt, confirmed this positive attitude, saying that Charles has a positive attitude and is happy to be back behind the wheel. For Leclerc, who has seen another young driver, Lando Norris, win a championship, the desire to win a title for the Ferrari fans is a huge motivation. Ferrari's secret weapon might be their mastery of the new race start procedure. Under 2026 regulations, cars struggle with turbo spool-up times, taking up to 22 seconds to build sufficient boost pressure without the MGUH that existed in previous engines. Ferrari designed their power unit with a smaller turbo that spins up significantly quicker than competitors. When Hamilton blasted from 5th to 1st in practice starts at Bahrain, it wasn't just driver skill, it was Ferrari's engineering brilliance giving him the tools to execute perfect launches. In Formula One, where races are often won and lost in the first few corners, having a consistent advantage off the starting line translates directly into points, podiums, and ultimately championships. The SF26 completed 754 laps across all testing sessions, demonstrating both pace and reliability that is the solid foundation you need to fight for a championship. Team principal Fred Vasseur made the controversial decision to halt development of the 2025 car early to focus entirely on 2026, and that gamble appears to be paying off spectacularly. This bold decision, which was much criticized at the time, freed up resources and allowed the team to pour everything into understanding the new regulations. The SF26 itself has been a source of intrigue and admiration in the paddock. The clever aerodynamic solutions, including the innovative flip wing, demonstrate a level of innovation and aggressive design that was arguably missing in previous years. It shows that Ferrari is not just trying to catch up, they are actively seeking to lead the way in interpreting the new regulations. This willingness to take calculated risks is a hallmark of a championship-winning team. The new, lighter and nimbler 2026 cars also seem to suit both Ferrari drivers perfectly. Hamilton has expressed his enjoyment of the new cars, stating, "I think the cars are more fun to drive. To be honest, they're easier to correct." Leclerc, with his precise and aggressive driving style, is also likely to thrive in a car that is more responsive and less on a knife's edge than the challenging ground effect machines of the past few years. A car that inspires confidence in its drivers is a powerful weapon, and the SF26 appears to be doing just that. So how do these two championship contenders actually stack up against each other? It's a fascinating contrast of philosophies, strengths, and potential weaknesses. Power unit philosophy. Red Bull has created what appears to be the most energy-efficient power unit on the grid, with sustained electrical deployment that no one can match over race distances. Ferrari chose a different path, a smaller turbo that sacrifices some ultimate power for superior drivability and race start performance. Red Bull's approach favors race pace and overtaking capability. Ferrari's approach favors race starts and driver confidence. Development journey. Red Bull built their entire power unit from scratch in just 2.5 years, a gamble that could have ended in disaster, but instead produced the benchmark. Ferrari made the painful choice to abandon their 2025 season early to focus all resources on 2026. Both teams took enormous risks, and both appear to have succeeded. Driver dynamics. Red Bull has the most complete driver in Formula One, Max Verstappen, paired with rookie Isaac Hajar. This creates a massive imbalance that could cost them the Constructors' Championship, even if Verstappen wins the driver's title. Ferrari has arguably the strongest driver pairing on the grid, 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton hunting a record 8th title, paired with Charles Leclerc, desperate to win his first. Ferrari's driver strength could be the decisive factor in the constructors' battle. Testing performance. Ferrari was fastest in testing, with Leclerc's 131.992. Red Bull was 4th fastest, but completed the same number of laps, 672, with perfect reliability. Ferrari showed ultimate pace, Red Bull showed ultimate consistency. The question is, which matters more over a 24-race season? Technical innovation. Red Bull's active aerodynamic integration and energy deployment mastery represent cutting-edge hybrid system development. Ferrari's smaller turbo solution in flip wing demonstrate innovative thinking about the fundamental challenges of 2026. Both teams are pushing boundaries, just in different areas. Championship mentality. Red Bull enters as the underdog for the first time in years, which could actually work in their favor. Less pressure, more freedom to develop aggressively. Ferrari enters with enormous expectations from the Tifosi and the weight of ending a championship drought. Pressure affects teams differently, and how each handles it will be critical. The verdict? If the championship is decided by raw pace and perfect execution, Ferrari has the edge. If it's decided by reliability, consistency, and mid-season development, Red Bull has the advantage. If it comes down to pure driver talent extracting maximum performance, Verstappen gives Red Bull the edge. But if it's about two drivers working together to maximize points, Hamilton and Leclerc give Ferrari the advantage. The reality is that this battle will likely come down to which team makes fewer mistakes, which driver pairing works together more effectively, and which engineering team can develop faster as the season progresses. Ferrari has the complete package right now. Red Bull has the foundation and the champion to build something special. When the lights go out in Melbourne on March 8th, we'll finally get answers to these questions. Watch the first acceleration phase. If Red Bull's energy deployment advantage is real, you'll see it immediately as the field charges toward turn 1. Watch Ferrari's race starts. If their smaller turbo advantage is genuine, Hamilton and Leclerc should rocket off the line. This is the defining battle of 2026. Ferrari's complete package versus Red Bull's efficient weapon. Hamilton and Leclerc's dream team versus Verstappen's individual brilliance. Innovation versus reliability. Speed versus consistency. Formula One has never been more technically fascinating or more dramatically compelling. The Red Bull versus Ferrari rivalry is reborn, and it promises to be absolutely epic. So, there you have it. Two teams, two philosophies, one championship. Who do you think will win? Team Ferrari or Team Red Bull? Drop your predictions in the comments below, hit that subscribe button, and don't miss a single moment of what promises to be the greatest Formula One season in history. We'll see you in Melbourne.